Hello everyone, this video is going to be about my trip from Washington DC to Chicago on the Capital Limited. It's a daily train that leaves Washington and goes to Chicago in the morning. Every trip I take, I like to take the Metro to get the full train experience. Once there at Union Station, I checked into the Amtrak lounge, which has very comfortable seating and tons of snacks. Shortly after that, we are ready to get loading onto the train platform. You can see us here walking under the parking structure at Union Station. It's a very big structure. The black ceiling is indicating that. And we had to go for quite a walk and actually go past the structure out to the platforms outside. Here you can see we're going on track 15, and here is the board that shows you all the stops for the Capital Limited, leaving at 4:05 in the afternoon. Here you can see a Simmons ACS 64. These are generally used for the Northeast Corridor, Keystone Corridor in Northeastern United States. It's not pulling our train, but I just thought it was cool. That was just sitting there. You can check it out. There is a train leaving. This is a Northeast Corridor train leaving. And what's cool about it is you can see that there is a pit underneath. I'll show that right here, where they can inspect the bottom of the train out there in the yard. The train, we're now almost walking over H Street, which is blocks away from the station. So we actually did quite a walk just to get to our cars. Here the porter is showing us where to go, and we're getting into the double stack cars. I have a roomette. I'll show you that in a bit. This is my roomette. A roomette can fit two people, but I'm just by myself, and I'm going to have the berth up down so I can sit and sleep at the same time. Here we're going through Rockville, our first station. Rockville is basically a suburban DC place, and the Metro goes there as well. And so this is our first station. This Amtrak train only stops, I think, about 10 or 11 times, various places. After we get out of Rockville, the train starts increasing speed. The top speed of these double-decker trains on Amtrak are 80 miles an hour, and we get going pretty fast. And then we have a freight consist coming through, which is kind of cool because you're kind of going double the speed. Well, the freight's not going that fast, but it's kind of cool to have the freight cars come by. They're really close to the tracks are close enough that kind of feels a little funny, but it's kind of exhilarating as well. Our next stop is going to be Harper's Ferry. But before we get there, we're going to pass the famous Pointe Rock Station that was built by the Baltimore and Ohio in 1873. It's kind of cool because the station is inside a Y, so it's kind of triangular shaped, and it's really quite a cool structure. A lot of train fan people like to go see it. After the station, we immediately go through a tunnel, which is kind of cool because we're following the Potomac River really closely there, and it's just kind of like rocky and stuff. It's a really cool place. If you ever never been to Harper's Ferry, it's fun. You can climb up on top of the mountain and watch the trains go by. Before we get to Harper's Ferry, we go through the Brunswick, Maryland yard. Used to be the old B&O classification yard. Now it's a CSX run yard, but it has a lot of stuff in it, commuter trains as well as freight. After Brunswick, we go through a tunnel, which then gets on the bridge that crosses the Potomac. To the left, the bridge that's going over there goes along the Shenandoah River. So at Harper's Ferry, the Shenandoah River and the Potomac join. Harper's Ferry is a national park, and they have cool buildings to go through, and they have a lot of museums and such, little shops, little places to stay. The station's pretty cool. So this you can get to from Washington as a day trip if you want, which is kind of fun. And it's a neat place. Highly recommend it. After Harper's Ferry, we start going through the rolling hills of the Shenandoah, and we continue on to farmland. And about this time, it's about time to go and get something to eat. So I go to the cafe car to pick up my meal. Unfortunately, they don't cook the meal on the train, on this train. They actually have a kit that they warm up your selection. This has nice salad and stuff and roll. And the dessert is really good, so that's pretty good. Soon after Harper's Ferry is Martinsburg, which has a cool roundhouse. I don't know what this structure is being used now. It says Farmers Market, so I imagine that it's used for that. Next, we enter the Cumberland train yard. This train yard was built by Baltimore, Ohio in the 1850s, and it's a major part of the Cumberland subdivision leading to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. And to the west, it connects to Pittsburgh. It's a double track line, and you can see there's tons of freight in here, as well as various buildings supporting the subdivision's main yard here. Then we're here at Cumberland, stopped, and this is the last stop before the sun sets. There wasn't much to see after that, so I went to bed, and the next morning I was greeted with this beautiful sunrise. Then I went to the cafe car to get breakfast. I got pancakes and sausage. Again, the breakfast wasn't cooked on the train. It was one of those things that they heat up. It was tasty. At this point, we're getting close to Chicago, and we're going through a lot of the industrial areas that have abandoned factories and some that are operating. To me, it's really cool to see all this rusty stuff. I enjoy going through industrial areas like this, just all the history and the mystery that's still left there. There's a highway bridge in the Chicago area, South Chicago, that's called the Skyway, which hooks up to the Indiana toll road. And throughout my whole life, I was going over this bridge to visit my brother in Michigan, looking to the right toward Lake Michigan, looking to the grain elevators here and this big, huge lift bridge, which we'll be going under shortly. It was such a cool structure, very similar to Lionel's lift bridge. With the shacks on top and the pulleys and stuff. We're going over it right now. This bridge is so cool. It should be modeled, I think, by anybody who's interested. Here we are in Chicago Union Station, getting off the train. It's a terminus station, so the north dead ends and the south dead ends. We're on the south side, getting off the train. Our train track was right next to the Chicago River, so I walked out, take a few photos of the Chicago River, and there's the train station, and there's our engine. So I checked in my hotel, and then the next morning I went for some walks, and I discovered Dearborn Station. This is actually not a station any longer, but the building's still there. And when I was walking toward the fountain, Buckingham Fountain, this is where the area I stayed in Chicago. I had a really good hotel for a great price. The Travelodge down here in the Loop is a great hotel. And here's the old Illinois Central line that's coming down. They call it Metro now. You can see the Metro trains coming into the Millennium Station, which used to be a station that Illinois Central had a station there before. I don't remember the name of it, but they basically covered up all the tracks and they built the Millennium Park in its place. So here we're going to go into Millennium Station down this little corridor. It's underground. It has a few shops in here, and then the platforms look like this. It's not really that interesting of a station. There's no head house or anything here. It's just a total underground station for the commuters. They also have, this is the South Terminus Station, a lot of terminus stations in Chicago. And then on the other side of the station is the northbound station, where I took that to go to Milwaukee. Anyway, so here is the Millennium Park here. You can see the Standard Oil Building, as it's called, there in the distance. The Standard Oil Building is quite interesting. Here's the structure holding up the bandstand kind of platforms. The Standard Oil Building used to be all marble, and the marble panels curved so much they had to replace every single one at a lot of cost. And then you have the Sphere here, which was under construction, unfortunately. One of the cool things down here is, I believe it's called the Buckingham Fountain. I might got that name wrong, but every hour it goes off like a geyser starting at 9 a.m. and that's pretty cool. I didn't know it did that. And then it has a light show at night. So if you've gotten this far looking at my video, please like and subscribe and tell others about my channel. It'd be great. Thank you. Have a good day.